25 years since our first run together. 1900 and nothing.
It's a long time.
If there's one thing Sam Elliott has taught me recently, is that the power of the dog is very much a true Western. I mean, he and lead antagonist Phil are pretty similar, right? They're both kind of sexist assholes. Okay, I kid. Let's just stick to reviewing the film, shall we? The story here follows two brothers, Phil and George, played by Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons respectively. They do well for themselves, owning a ranch and raising cattle, but things start to come undone for Phil when George marries Rose, played by Kirsten Dunst. She is a widow with a son, Peter, played by Cody Smith-McPhee. As she moves into their house, she begins to be terrorized by Phil, who sees her as nothing more than a money-grabbing fiend who does not care for their way of life. Things only continue escalating from there. And the first thing I have to say is I freaking love the atmosphere in this movie. It is so tense at points that it feels like it's almost going to turn into a horror film. And a big part of why it works so well is because of Benedict, who does a fantastic job playing this antagonist of sorts. The funny thing is that when I first started watching the movie, I thought he might have been miscast. Sure, he can be a terror, but part of me wanted to see him go bigger. It's almost as if he was holding back and not reaching the full potential of the character. Yet, as the film continues and you see exactly who he is as a person, you begin to greatly appreciate what he did with the role. To be completely honest, I don't know if what he did with his performance was on purpose or an accident. If it was on purpose, then I'm definitely not giving him enough credit as an actor. And if it was an accident, it works very well for the film, because by the end, you do have this mixed bag of emotions. And of course, there's the rest of the cast who all do a wonderful job. Each one nominated for an Oscar, which, well, maybe with the exception of Jesse, are all well-deserved. Not that Jesse does a bad job, but he's just not as prevalent as the other three. I don't take his absence as a negative either. It fits into the story. But I think more presence from him would have solidified his nomination achievement with it. Once again, we have a very technically impressive film. I really like the cinematography here, and the score matches its themes very well. If there is one complaint I have to make with the film is, I would have liked to have seen Kirsten's character's descent into madness a bit more focused on. Don't get me wrong, I like the way that she transforms and she starts going down that road, but I think it really would have hit the ending even harder if we just focused on it more and she was terrorized even more than she was. Apart from that though, it's really good film and I can barely think of any negative things to say about it. So ultimately, I have to give The Power of the Dog a 4.5 out of 5 with a strong recommendation to see it. The thing that holds me back from going any further is that this isn't really a film I can see being watched multiple times. I feel it will leave an impression on you, but its slow nature might be a bit much for some to fully appreciate. I have a feeling that this review can be very polarizing, especially because I do believe that this is a film that not everyone is going to be able to gravitate towards. For me though, I really enjoyed it, and it stayed long on my mind after watching it, to the point that I really want to show it to other people. And to me, that is the power of cinema. Alright everybody, until tomorrow, like always, stay safe out there, and of course, have a good one.